So let me get this straight. Now you guys are zooming in and focusing on Bryan Kohberger's dick, his crotch. I'm thejbgunner, this is Crime Time. Today we're going to start off getting into this crazy fucking story. We're going to listen to Bumfield talk about it and give her excuses as to why they're doing it. I'm thejbgunner, this is Crime Time. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go.
Bring it back.
What's going on, everybody? As you guys know, I'm thejbgunner. This is Crime Time. Now, I want to say, before we get started, happy Labor Day to everybody out there. Big shout out to all of you guys that's out there grinding and working to take care of your family. Not you women, though, because I don't respect women that work. It's just kind of the way it is. It's kind of a man's thing. You broads need to be cooking and making sandwiches and sucking dick. But let's move on, because I'm not going to here to bash the women's. Anyways, we're going to move on. I want to say first and foremost, thank you to everybody that supports the channel, regardless of the method you choose, whether it's Cash App, Patreon, Venmo, PayPal. Truth is, guys, I couldn't do this each and every day as often as I do if it wasn't for you, the Gun Squad. I appreciate you guys so much. With that being said, if YouTube find my content valuable, feel free to hit the links down below. Show your boys some love. Support the channel. Join the Gun Squad today. You can also find links to some of my other work, my content, my political channels. But as we've learned over time, don't bring your bitch asses over there if you don't want to get your feelings hurt because, well, my politics, it bothers a lot of y'all. You're racist. Man, who gives a fuck? Shut the fuck up, suck my dick, move on. Anyways, sometimes I love throwing jabs at this channel because I'm only over here at the very most once a day. And so I can just say what I gotta say, get the fuck out of here, go back to my other channels and say bon voyage, motherfuckers. But anyway, we are gonna get to talking about this case. Before we do, though, I was thinking about something, and we're going to leave the Bryan Kohberger crotch for just a second. I was thinking about something. Well, first of all, let me just say this. Guys, I'm not one of those people that's not willing to think Bryan Kohberger did it. I have told you guys from the beginning, they just don't have anything to, in my opinion, to find him guilty with. The evidence isn't there. All of you guys that were in my ear, JB, you know they got more evidence that we haven't seen. You've been proven wrong, because here we are on the cusp of everything, and there is no secret evidence. There is no secret anything. I told you at the very beginning of this, and a lot of you unexperienced motherfuckers had no clue what you were talking about, that the affidavit was going to have about 85 to 95% of the total evidence that the state has against Bryan Kohberger. Anything else would just be shit that they found after the arrest, which wouldn't be much. I know a lot of you guys argued that, but anyways, so there's not a lot to convict him on. However, I am not against the idea of believing that Kohberger could have done it. But I want to make this statement before we get into this, because I was thinking about this as I was showering and washing my ass this morning. Bryan Kohberger, supposedly, when he got arrested, asked the question, did anybody else get arrested? You know, he wanted to know if anybody else got arrested. Let's say Bryan Kohberger did it for just a second. So Bryan Kohberger did it. He's curious if anybody else got arrested, which to me potentially implicates an accomplice in this situation. Then we fast forward to the morning after. Now, if you look at the morning after, there is 8 hours that Dylan Mortensen and the other broad did not call the police. They called their friends first. Their friends came over there, and clearly there was some disturbing of the crime scene. Would you agree with that? Why is there only one latent shoe print? What happened to the other one? Was there any cleaning done in that house? Just curious. Now, we know from paperwork and documents that Ann Taylor said there is no connection at all. And she couldn't have said this if it wasn't true, bearing evidence, between Bryan Kohberger and any of these people. All you people that thought Bryan Kohberger was in their inboxes, you're lying, you're wrong. In fact, it's really funny, because I had one dumbass in the comments, this is why I don't read the comments that much anymore, tell me they got video of Bryan Kohberger in the house. I just blocked that motherfucker, because you're just a dumb motherfucker to sit here and tell me they got video of Bryan Kohberger in the house. You just made that shit up. Like most of the shit. Bryan Kohberger stole their IDs. You just made it up. All of you. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and continue. I do got a question. Is it possible Bryan Kohberger was involved, let's say, with the black dude and the chick, Emma, and the people that lived in the house? Is it possible, considering he believes Bethany Funk has something that can exonerate him, is it possible, serious question, that all of those people were involved, all of those people were together, including Bethany Funk, including Dylan Mortensen, including Demetrius and Emma, including Bryan Kohberger, hell, including Kabaka? Why else would he ask why, if anyone else was arrested? Why else would those girls and those people that lived there, including the friends, wait all those hours to call the police? It sounds to me like people getting their story straight. Now, to you people that don't believe Bryan Kohberger, that the sheaf could have been planted, let me ask you a question. What if Bryan Kohberger did come over there and buy drugs? What if Bryan Kohberger, let's say, met Demetrius and Emma over there? Let's say they were all together with, what's her name, who was still up at 4:12 in the morning, Xana Cornoto. Who's to say they didn't meet all up over there? Kohberger left his knife, whatever. Well, I don't know. Anything could have went down. And after all this happened, when the survivors and friends were waiting 8 hours to call the police, that they were changing and altering the crime scene, including, see, a lot of people think that for the knife sheath to have been planted, it means it would have had to have been the cops. I don't think the cops planted the knife sheath at all. Is it possible Dylan Mortensen? Is it possible that Bethany Funk? Is it possible that Demetrius or Emma? Is it possible anyone else could have planted the knife sheath? Now, they'll tell you that there is no connection between the people, and that's very true. I mean, if there's no connection, there's no connection. But I know one thing, that a lot of times there was no connections you could find between me and people I sold drugs to when I was selling drugs. It would have been very hard, considering burner phones were used, all that type of, you see what I'm saying? I don't know. So I'm saying, I'm not telling you that Bryan Kohberger did not do this. I'm saying right now there is no evidence. I just want to throw that out there. And I know we've talked about it before, but is it possible there was a lot more people involved in this? And Bryan Kohberger could have been involved, at least with the people that did it. Because the question still has to be asked, how did a sheath with Bryan Kohberger's DNA end up under the body? Now, of Maddie Mogen, it's only one of two ways. Either the sheath was planted, put there, placed there by some other person, whether it be the killer, not, whatever, or Bryan Kohberger did it. I am leaning against Bryan Kohberger doing it. As you guys know, I've read that way the entire time, but that would actually answer why his car was out at that hours of the morning. Maybe he stopped by to get drugs, and then it occurred. Maybe the people that were there selling him drugs, maybe the people, who the fuck knows? But you have to ask yourself why the 8 hours exist. What were they hiding? What were they cleaning up? What were they disposing of? What were they getting rid of? And most importantly, what were they planting? You got to ask yourself these questions. I know some of you won't. It is what it is. I don't really give a fuck. Now, this story fucks with me. This story really, really fucks with me. Bryan Kohberger, well, it doesn't even really fuck with me. It just shows me the ridiculousness of you anti-Kohberger people. And this is why I support the banning of cameras in the courtroom. You people are trying to get this man killed. And when I say you people, I mean the media, YouTubers, things like that. You're trying to get this man killed, and you never even stop to ask for 1 second, what if he didn't do it? But let's take a look. Bryan Kohberger claims media are focusing on his crotch as he demands court camera ban. Idaho murder suspect is also asking judge to throw out the case against him on the grounds of a biased grand jury and prosecutorial misconduct. And, it's not wrong. Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger is seeking to ban cameras from his high-profile trial after bizarrely, as they say, claiming that the media is honing in on his crotch. They were. The 28-year-old, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to prove it to you. The 28-year-old criminal justice PhD student filed a motion on August 24th asking Judge John Judge to toss cameras from the courtroom where he faces charges for the murders of blah, blah, blah. In the defense motion, his attorney, Dan Taylor, argued that the past footage from his court appearances had focused heavily on his dick. Mr. Kohberger is entitled to defend himself against capital criminal charges without cameras focused on his dick, his attorney wrote. She added that the media has been warned back in June not to focus solely on Mr. Kohberger during the court appearances, but they had failed to comply, and all of that is accurate. All of that is accurate. A group of media outlets have pushed back on the defense's request, asking for the judge to allow cameras to remain in the courtroom for the future hearings in the trial. In response, the group argued that no photographic or film coverage had focused on his fly. That's not true. Pointing out that an image included in the defense motion came from a social media post and not the media's coverage itself. Well, where do you think they got the image from, dummy? Although Mr. Kohberger argues that he is entitled to defend himself against capital charges without cameras focused on his fly, that assertion misstates the role that courtroom camera coverage played in the social media post that appears at page 3 of his motion. No photographs or camera coverage focus on Mr. Kohberger's fly. No, I disagree. I mean, I understand kind of what they're saying, but here's the thing. The cameras were not supposed to be focused solely on Bryan Kohberger anyway. I don't give a holy fuck how much you little fat fucks at home sitting here watching court TV want to see the trial. I don't give a fuck how much you people want to see the trial. At the end of the day, this man deserves a fair trial. There's no way around that. Period. Everybody does. Many outlets are reporting on this. Many people are talking about the whole crotch incident. And we're going to go ahead and go over here to old Ashley Bumfield's bitch ass because she's going to elaborate on why people were talking about it. Let's roll it.
Bryan Kohberger does not want us looking at his crotch.
No, he doesn't.
Can't make it up. Can't make it up. I say that because last week his defense filed a motion to ban cameras from his courtroom. And this is what they said. Mr. Kohberger is entitled to defend himself against capital criminal charges without cameras focused on his fly.
Right.
Okay, so this all stems from a recent court appearance that he had.
Why is that so funny? When you people have focused on every aspect of his life and every aspect of his physical appearance since minute one. Well, look at his bushy eyebrows. Look at his eyes. They look soulless. Look at his crotch. Look at the belt. Has he got a shock belt on? You're about to hear it right now. You literally analyze everything. Do you remember that girl he went out with on Tinder? He wanted to give her a massage. What? You people are fucking nut jobs, man. Every last one of you guys analyze some of the dumbest shit. I had one jackass try to tell me, why's your tip jar say 0? Because I record these motherfuckers at 5 o'clock in the morning before I start my actual day of work. It's always going to say 0 on the True Crime Channel videos. This isn't a live stream, dickhead. This is a pre-recorded video that I recorded at 5 a.m. I will then go do my other channels and my live streams. What's really funny is the day he said it, I made like $900. But anyways, people are clowns. People pay attention to the dumbest shit. People legitimately pay attention to the dumbest shit. And it's only in this community. They don't do it in any other community. All of you true crime sleuths, like you feel like you got to analyze everything. And the thing about it is you're not even smart people. Most of you people are dumb as fuck. There's a few smart ones, but most of you people are dumb as fuck. Just flat out conspiracy, and I'm a conspiracy theorist. Just flat out nut jobs. I think it was the Christchurch people that killed the girl. Man, you guys are fucking weirdos. You guys are fucking weirdos. Had the nerve to criticize me about shit I've done in my life. Get the fuck. You people are nut jobs. Let's get back to this. Look at his dick. Look at Bryan Kohberger's dick. Nut jobs.
It was all about DNA discovery. And I guess some social media user took a full image and zeroed in on his crotch. So a coalition of media outlets has gotten together to respond to this. Look at that. That's the photo that they're upset about. So the coalition of media outlets objected and said no photographs or camera coverage focused on Mr. Kohberger's fly.
Yeah, but it wouldn't exist if you didn't focus solely on him. If you did the wide pan of the entire courtroom, this wouldn't even exist.
Rather, one random X user, that's the former Twitter, modified a photo showing Mr. Kohberger and a deputy entering the courtroom by cropping it to a very small size, focused on his belt, and adding a reference to Mr. Kohberger's fly. So they are going to still deal with this issue. It hasn't been ruled on yet.
Good.
So many other issues haven't been ruled on yet either. Joining me now, Kristen Cameron and Alina Smith are the moderators of the Facebook group University of Idaho Murders Case Discussion, now boasting more than 220,000 members. They've been following the case from the beginning. Ladies, good to have you back on the program. Alina, let me start with you. This is crazy, this discussion. What are the members saying about this whole Flygate?
Who gives a fuck?
Hi, Ashley. How are you?
Good to have you.
Who gives a fuck with the members of the Facebook group? Shut up.
To be honest, obviously we've been discussing this a lot on our page, and so this picture has, made its rounds on,
They've been discussing it a lot. To see what I'm saying? Y'all just sitting around and all of them looking smiley as fuck. Y'all smiley as fuck talking about Kohberger's dick. Incel my ass. He's got 3 hoes talking about his dick right here, right now on national news. I mean, granted, News Nation is, nobody watches News Nation. It's not like Fox or CNN or any of that other, like, nobody watches News Nation. But it still exists, and it's still national news.
Our posts and comments, and we honestly thought that.
Okay, CNN ain't got nobody watching them either. So let's call it like, fuck it. News is dying anyway.
The discussions with him not having to wear the orange jumpsuit and just gets to wear, the suit and
so what?
What kind of privileges and the differences with that. And people thought that he may have had a stun belt around him. And that's why they were focusing in and zooming in on that. And honestly, that's what we were wondering. And those were. So
here's the thing. You say no one was focusing on his crotch. And then you bring in hoes that was focusing on his crotch. We were wondering what kind of belt he had on. Bitch! Go what?
For the questions that we were asking on our page, and they were wondering that maybe that's what they were using instead of handcuffs or the cuffs around his feet, and maybe they had something called
Bro, stop it. Not everybody goes into court in cuffs, or definitely nothing around the feet, not necessarily always. There literally is a damn sheriff walking him in. And yes, it's not out of the question for people to go to court in suits. Jesus Christ, man.
a stun belt, which I've never even heard of that, but that's what we were wondering.
Oh, of course you have.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, stun belts work. Oh, you betcha.
You betcha.
Stun belts really work. But that's a really good point. I'm so glad that you brought that up. I hadn't thought of that, but that does make a lot of sense. Yeah. And I know that the members are so meticulous about looking at every little detail. They're also very helpful in the investigation when they see those details.
No, I'm glad you're saying this on live television, because on the news, because this is exactly why cameras don't need to be in there. Listen, bumfield, bitchfield, at the end of the day, whether you took the footage and zoomed in on it or not does not matter. Because right now, currently, there's a conversation on national media about Bryan Kohberger's crotch, which proves the defense completely right. Right now, you're focused on his crotch. You came out here to debunk it, but instead you just spent 5 minutes talking about it. You even said what you were looking for. Is it a shock belt? Blah, blah.
Christine, this whole business about waiving the right to the speedy trial, I think everybody was so excited for this to start in November. Was it such a deflation all of a sudden to hear that it's just not going to go as planned?
Yeah, obviously we were all really disappointed, but mostly we were disappointed for the families. We were all hoping that everything would be on course for October, and the victims' families would have...
No, these people are just as fucking sorry as you fucking true crime people. We just want justice for the victims and for the families. No, you don't, you sorry sacks of shit. That's why you watch these videos every day. You just like to be entertained by this shit. Stop lying. You don't care about justice for the you didn't care. No, we just wanted it to end for the families in October. No, you didn't. You just wanted to watch the trial in October. You didn't want to have to wait on it. You're impatient. And you're liars. You're frauds, all of you. That say that bullshit. I'm just being dead honest with you. If you're one of those people out there talking about we just want justice, no, you don't. This is all a game of clue to not just me, but to you as well. That's just the truth. Because most of you guys have no idea what justice even looks like. You just sit around here, you want the conclusion to the story. You want the story to pick up. You want the TV broadcast that you're watching right now and everything else to pick up the pace, to entertain you a little bit more. It's just the truth. Whether it's me or Kohberger or the trial, you think just everybody else is your dancing monkeys that's supposed to entertain you motherfuckers for nothing. You know, just entertain us. You don't actually care about the outcome. You just care about sitting there eating your little fucking Ben and Jerry's ice cream, watching your CNN, and then coming out here and watching this so you could play detective. That's the truth. That's the fucking truth.
Sort of closure. But both sides, agreed more time would be beneficial for proper preparations. But let's face it, we expected this, and we don't want to be rushing through the trial.
Look, you can take one look at that fat bitch right there and know for an absolute fact. Just take one, here, let me do this. Let me do this. Because this is one of them minivan bitches. She sits there in her little pajamas with her fucking big-ass bowl of ice cream at the end of the night, sitting there scooping not even the bowl, she just brings the whole half gallon over. Just sitting there scooping ice cream into her fucking face as she's watching Court TV or News Nation or monitoring the Facebook group and shit. Makes her feel like she's special, like she's a super detective. You can tell right off the jump. Now, you know exactly what this fat woman's nighttime looks like. She probably sits there with a glass of wine, red wine, as she, probably from a boxed red wine, as she sits there doing her Facebook group. And then she sits around, turns on News Nation or turns on one of these true crime YouTube videos and just starts shoveling the ice cream right into her fat ass gullet. And then News Nation has the nerve to bring this big bitch on as if she's a motherfucking scholar, an expert in the situation. I'm just being honest with you. And most of you people right now that's watching this, you look like that too. You're the same type of motherfucker. Now, of course, many of you aren't. But I'm mainly talking about the women. Let's just call it what it is. The few of you guys are little and sexy, but a lot of you guys you look just like this bitch and think you're a detective. My name is Detective Karen. Get your ass the fuck up out of here. Fuck up out of here.
And causing any reason whatsoever for the defense to seek a new trial.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. Anything else?
It's always just a bunch of people. And I think this about a lot of you. You know why I only do one video a day over here? You know why? Because I got pussy to get. A lot of people just sit here doing this all day because no one wants to suck their dick. No one wants to eat their ass. No one wants to fuck them. It's just the truth. It's just the truth.
The cyber sleuths are noticing?
We're just we were disappointed about the trial, so
of course you were.
Focusing now on other things. Obviously, the Gabriela Vargas has been a huge topic on our page, the genealogy expert. That makes us talk about the DNA a lot. The timeline has become...
You mean the bitch that y'all sent the FBI to intimidate? Okay.
Question a lot the difference between the 3 and 4 a.m. difference when that was the first timeline that the law enforcement gave us, and then changed it to the 4 to 5 a.m. timeline. So they're just picking that apart, which...
Well, of course, because you had to... Because what you did is you're reverse engineering the case so it fits Kohberger. That's why the 3 a.m. isn't the timeline anymore. You have to line it up with when you saw a white Elantra. Ain't that awesome?
Obviously it's just, there's nothing there to pick apart, but, they're just finding the DoorDash
I'll tell you what.
and is being caught up, everything.
I have a feeling there's going to be some robust discussion when they have this hearing over the cameras in the courtroom. That's gonna be
absolutely.
Christine Cameron, Alina Smith, love having you on. Thank you both. It's good to see you, and we'll see you soon.
These people make me sick.
Nice to see you too. Thanks for having me.
These
Thank
people,
you for
man,
watching.
shut your ass up. Get the fuck up out of here. All right. Look, man. This shows you the ridiculousness of the whole shit. How dare Bryan Kohberger say we're focusing on his crotch? Then let's do a 5-minute segment focusing on his crotch. Let me know what you guys think, though. Do you think that this just shows the... Look, man, I don't think the camera should be there. If Bryan Kohberger, who's facing trial and facing... I understand a lot of you guys think he should be there for his safety. But if Bryan Kohberger, who's the one facing this time, the one facing the firing squad, if he says, I don't want these motherfuckers in here, I think we have to give him that. I think we have to give Bryan Kohberger that. It's that simple. Look, man, don't you think I want to see the trial too? I more importantly want not true justice, because I don't really give a fuck. But with Kohberger, I don't want the dude to go to prison or go face the death penalty if he didn't do it. It's that simple. If he did it, fine, kill him. But if he didn't, you gotta let him go, and you can't be poisoning the well, which I think people are doing. Guys, let me know what you think. I'm JB Gunner. This is Crime Time. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, my discussion. To you people that didn't, I don't know why you're still watching, motherfucker. We're 28 minutes into the video. You dumb sack of shit. Because you get that now. People hate watch me. You get no pussy. If your ass is watching me and hates me, bro, you needed some pussy. And I already know the hoes ain't got shit to do. So I already know they're gonna watch and hate. I ain't worried about them. But you know if you're a dude and you hate me and you're watching me, you're gay as fuck. There's something wrong with you, bro. I guarantee you drink iced coffees and vape. I'm JB Gunner. I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.